waxed hair, and it's record store day again. Well, technically not record store day again. That was in April. Today in June 18th, it's a fallback day for manufacturing delays. So there was lots of titles, but I only wanted two, and I was able to get one. So this being Saturday, hopefully tomorrow, when a lot of the stores, or most of the stores, or all the stores, are allowed to sell the remaining inventory online, I might be able to get the second one. So let me show you the one I was able to get. I did go to 3 different stores, and a bunch of the stores had significant discounts to celebrate Record Store Day. So I did have a pretty hefty haul, and I'll show all those records. The one I was able to get was the main record I wanted to get, and that is this Freddie Hubbard live at Studio 104 Maison de la Radio. These are these French broadcasting recordings. Now, the way I was familiar with it, and I'll put a link to it in the description, is on YouTube. There's a recording, a television performance of this, and it's very jammy. And from what I understand, this is, I think for this performance was a new band at the time that Freddie Hubbard put together, with George Gables on the Fender Rhodes piano, Junior Cook on tenor saxophone and flute, Kent Brinkley on acoustic bass, and Michael Carvin on drums. And this is a double album, and it's very jammy awesomeness. So I suggest you watch the video if you want to know more, but I'm very anxious to rip this open and listen to it. It's from We Want Sounds. I do not know if this is 100% analog, but I'm curious. So if anyone knows, let me know. Very, very happy to pick that up. The one I wanted to get was the Bobby Hamilton Quintet. It's a album called Dream Queen. It's I listened to some of it. It's fusion-y, spiritual jazzy. The original version of the album came out, and it was only 500 made. It's very pricey, so people were clamoring for this to be repressed. And truth be told, the first store I went to, someone reached for the one copy over me, and I didn't want to cause a fuss. If I was meant to have it, hopefully tomorrow, when everything goes online, I will get it. But that being said, the stores I went to, and the footage, hopefully you will see at the beginning of this video, is one of my favorites, Record Safari. They had 20% off all used records, and their stock changes daily. And I went to Freak Beat, where I got the Freddie Hubbard. That's in Sherman Oaks, approaching Studio City in the Valley. It's a nice little record store. And I went to this new incarnation of Licorice Pizza, which I'm going to post a video on going there. It's a very small, kind of hip place, and they have some stuff, so you'll see in that video. That being said, this was a killer find. I just listened to it, and this is Duke Pearson. This is a reissue of Wahoo. Now, if people know about this French reissue label, Heavenly Sweetness, I looked it up. They did a bunch of Blue Note reissues in 2010-ish, 2011, and this is one of them. You can see that blue is very darker than the light blue typically. This is 180 gram, and it sounds great. So this was a nice pickup. The original price that they had, minus the 20%, was a nice value for me. It's got Donald Byrd, James Spaulding, Joe Henderson, Bob Cruikshank, and Mickey Roker. This is a great album. I only have that the Christmas reissue of Duke Pearson that came out last year, so it's nice to hear an album where it's really good. So let me know about that Heavenly Sweetness if anyone knows about it. This is another interesting find. This is Let's Swing, the Bud Johnson Quintet. A familiar face, or familiar person to me, is Tommy Flanagan's playing piano, George Dearvers on bass, Keg Johnson on trombone, and Charlie Pearson on drums. This is an OJC, but it's a limited edition series. So from what I could see, this is an audiophile, true audiophile pressing, and it's on this red Swingville label here. I have not listened to it yet, but this I think came out in the mid '80s and was a special pressing. So if anyone knows more about these particular OJCs that were limited, and this was remastered by Gary Hobbish and at Fantasy Studios. So interesting. I would love to, I'm waiting to listen to that and see how good it is. I'm sure it is. I am collecting a lot of these CTIs. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like them. I have all the Freddie Hubbards, and at that period of time, I do prefer the Freddie Hubbard over the Miles Davis if you're going to compare two people. So I have one other, I have two Milt Jackson CTI albums, which are great. Sunflowers being an awesome album everyone should own. So this is Goodbye with Hubert Laws, but if you could see on here, Ron Carter's on there, Billy Cobham, Steve Gadd, but Herbie Hancock, Freddie Hubbard's on here, and Cedar Walton. How could you go wrong with that lineup? I don't know. But love these CTIs. Also, second to the to the Freddie Hubbards, Joe Farrell ones are awesome. So recommend those. Next, found this Vanguard, which I thought was a folk label, but this is a jazz album with Dave Burns warming up. He's with Al Gray, Herman Wright, Howard Mel Mabrin, Billy Mitchell, Bobby Hutcherson on the vibes, and Otis Candy Finch on drums, with Willie Carrera on, you can see there, on timbali. Someone tell me what a timbali is. But this is a reissue, I know, on Vanguard. So I have a few Vanguard folk albums, but I don't know their jazz albums. Someone, again, please tell me your knowledge of Vanguard with jazz. And have not listened to this yet, but I cannot wait, like with all these. It's the Freddie Hubbard show. I should have put them all in order, but what fun is that? I see this album quite often, and it's very cheap. Freddie Hubbard on Atlantic. It's The Art of Freddie Hubbard. This is a comp of two albums. And I don't have any Freddie Hubbard on Atlantic. I'm guessing he went more soul jazz, but he's awesome. So I can't imagine that will be that bad. And that's a twofer, right? So I'm a twofer guy, and why not show another twofer? Here, this Horace Silver Blue Note twofer. These, this colored one, when you find these are usually comps of his time, each artist's time on Blue Note. So there's not really any unreleased material on here. But how can I go wrong with 20% off of $3? And this thing is in like minty fresh condition. It's on that 70s Blue Note blue label. So these things sound great. And a twofer, a Horace Silver twofer, one in minty condition, that's less than $3. You gotta get it, right? Okay, this is a score, and this is someone who I'm suggesting people get out there and listen to. I went into Freakbeat, and someone dumped a whole collection of Blossom Dearie records. If you don't know Blossom Dearie, I've talked about her before. There's Blossom Dearie. And through the 70s and 80s, she self-produced or self-pressed her albums. And they are really hard to find, Blossom Dearie albums. And they are quite pricey. Through this period of time, I think these go from anywhere from $8 to 20 something bucks, most of these. But there's one self-produced album, and it's somewhere in my massive collection that's really pricey. I paid a lot of money for one of her albums, but they're all volume numbered here. So I I got this. I've listened to one of them, but Blossom Dear, just so you know, she is. She's a vocalist pianist who was at a time when a lot of women did that through the 50s forward. She has a very distinctive voice. So people of my age know Schoolhouse Rock. That was a required programming by the government for the network Saturday morning, where it was educational. Schoolhouse Rock did short 5-minute videos, well, videos today, but animated clips about grammar and also about math. And the two distinctive voices is Blossom Dearie did a lot of the female singing. That Figure 8 song, that's Blossom Dearie. Also, Bob Dorough, who I've talked about before. I have some of his albums. He's usually the male singing. I know there's Jack Shoulder, who I'm just a Bill guy, and I think there's another woman. I don't know who she is, but that you should know who Blossom Dearie is. But all these albums, there's one. I don't know what was going on with this cover. Here's the back. And there's her record label, by the way. So all these were self-produced, and these were fairly cheap, way below what these go for. But I'm really happy that I found, most of her self-produced albums. I think I have all of them now. So that's a great score, to get these. And Freak Beat had 10% off the whole store. So including the Record Store Day records. Record Safari was just 20% off all their used records, which is crazy. You go in there, the stock changes daily. It's not, nothing stays in there very long, so it's always a great time going there and an easy way to empty your wallet. So that's my Record Store Day haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can answer some of the questions I posed here in the video. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And please, comments. I love them. I like responding to them. I like connecting with people. And until next time, the Waxed Out.